"Sir, that boy lived with me at the orphanage." The maid's trembling voice sliced through the golden silence of the mansion corridor. Her words hung in the air like a haunting echo, fragile yet powerful enough to shatter the serenity that wealth had built. Billionaire Ethan Marlowe turned slowly, his gaze fixed on the old portrait hanging above the marble fireplace. The boy in the painting, those wide, innocent eyes and faint half-smile, wasn't just a stranger from the past. He was identical to the brother Ethan had lost more than 3 decades ago. A sharp ache blossomed in his chest. The maid, Grace Holloway, a quiet black woman who had begun working at the estate barely 2 weeks earlier, stood trembling, clutching the seam of her apron as if it was all that held her together. "I knew him," she whispered. "We called him Daniel at the orphanage. He never spoke of his family, but he used to say he had an older brother, a brother who called him my little champion." Ethan's breath caught. The air thickened as memories clawed their way to the surface: childhood laughter, afternoons in the garden, his mother's piano filling the house with warmth. For years, he buried the pain. Pretended success could fill the void left by his brother's abduction. But Grace's words settled on him like dust. And the past had found him. For 30 years, Ethan lived with that same gaze etched into his soul. His younger brother, Leo, had vanished at 4 years old, snatched away from a sunlit Sunday morning in a Seattle city park. He remembered the scream. The scream that ripped from his mother's throat when she realized her baby was gone. Their family had once been perfect. His father, a sharp-minded lawyer with a gentle heart. His mother, a soft-spoken music teacher who filled the house with the smell of jasmine tea and Chopin. And then Leo disappeared. The search lasted months. Sirens. Headlines. Interviews that dissolved into whispers, then silence. His mother withered. His father hardened. And Ethan, only 8, was left with a whispered promise. "I'll find you, Leo. I'll bring you home." But childhood promises have a cruel way of becoming ghosts. Grace watched him quietly. Empathy, not pity, filled her eyes. "Some losses," she said softly, "don't fade with time. They just learn to wear suits." The words hit him with unexpected force. The next morning, Ethan found her again beneath the portrait. "Sir, the boy in that picture," she said. "I knew him by another name. Daniel. He lived with me at St. Vincent Orphanage until he was 14. Ethan froze. Grace continued. "He used to say he was taken from a rich family. That his big brother called him my little champion. No one believed him. But I did." The word stabbed through 30 years of fog. "What happened to him?" Ethan asked. Grace's voice dipped. "He was brought to the orphanage at 6. Papers said his parents died in a car crash. But he kept drawing the same house, and the same piano, and whispering that his brother would come." Then her voice cracked. "One day he ran away. After a fight. We searched for weeks. And he was gone." Ethan turned to the portrait again, tracing the face with shaking fingers. "All these years, he was alive," he whispered. Grace stepped closer. "Sometimes, sir, the past doesn't die. It just waits." If this story has pulled you in so far, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the emotional second half. There's a reveal coming that you won't forget. That night Ethan didn't sleep. Echoes haunted the mansion: child laughter, piano keys, his mother whispering Leo's name into the dark. By dawn, he made his decision. "We're going to Santa Rosa," he told Grace. "If Daniel lived there, I need to see it." They drove for hours toward the countryside until the road narrowed beneath jacaranda trees. The orphanage was tired and gray, but still standing. An elderly nun, Sister Eleanor, answered the door. When Ethan showed her the portrait, her face drained. "My God," she whispered. "That's Daniel. Quiet boy. Always drawing. Always waiting at the gate at sunset. He said someone was coming for him. We thought it was fantasy. Ethan's voice was unsteady. How did he get here? Sister Eleanor hesitated. He was brought by a woman who claimed to be a state social worker. She had documents, birth certificate, death records. All of them. She exhaled sharply. Forgeries. We learned too late. A cold shiver ran through Ethan. Leo hadn't vanished. He had been hidden. Lost behind paperwork the world never bothered to question. Then Sister Eleanor opened a drawer and retrieved a worn leather folder. He left something behind. Inside was a single, yellowed piece of paper. Fragile. Trembling. Ethan unfolded it. A house with ivy. A piano by a sunny window. 2 boys holding hands. And beneath it, in shaky letters. My name is Leo Marlowe. One day, my brother will find me. Ethan nearly collapsed. Back home, he placed Leo's drawing beside the portrait. The next morning, Ethan launched an investigation. Files, maps, discrepancies, they covered his study. Every clue leads nowhere, he muttered. Not nowhere, Grace said. Just not far enough. Finally, a break. A hospital record in Crescent Valley. Daniel Lucas Marlowe, age 17. Found injured on a deserted rural road. No memory of who he was. They drove to Crescent Valley Hospital. An old doctor recognized the picture immediately. I remember that boy, he said. Quiet. Talented. He drew constantly. After he recovered, he said he needed to visit an old orphanage in St. Vincent, and then he disappeared. Ethan whispered. He went back. He went back to find us. They returned to St. Vincent before sunrise. The orphanage was abandoned now. Inside the crumbling dormitory, Grace froze. Ethan. On the wall, in faint, childlike handwriting. I came back, but no one was waiting. Ethan pressed his hand to the wall. He was here, he whispered. He came home. And we weren't. Months of searches led nowhere, until one evening, a call broke the silence. We found a record, the investigator said. A man named Lucas Daniel Marlowe admitted to a shelter in Blue Haven 15 years ago. A street artist. Locals called him the Quiet Painter. He still lives there. Within hours, Ethan and Grace were on the road. Blue Haven was alive with color. A small market. Coffee roasting in the air. Grace suddenly stopped. Ethan, look. Under a striped canopy sat a man at an easel, painting a little girl's portrait. Simple clothes. A short beard. Gentle eyes. And unmistakable features. It's him, Ethan whispered. Grace approached first. Daniel. The man looked up. Confusion flickered. Then recognition broke across his face. Grace, he whispered. Then his gaze shifted to Ethan. The world stopped. Leo, Ethan breathed. Ethan pulled out the drawing from St. Vincent. Leo stared at it. Tears spilled. I used to dream of this house, he said. And that piano, and of you. You're home now, little champion, Ethan whispered. In the center of the bustling market, 2 grown men fell into each other's arms, brothers torn apart by fate, reunited by love that refused to die. Morning light bathed the Marlowe mansion as Leo walked through it, touching walls, frames, childhood memories. He paused at their mother's piano. Grace watched quietly as he lifted the cover and pressed a single key. The note trembled. Raw. Beautiful. Ethan stepped forward. Do you remember this? Not in my mind, Leo whispered. But my heart never forgot. Days passed. Stories were exchanged. Wounds breathed again. And slowly, healed. One afternoon Ethan found a letter addressed in their mother's handwriting. For my sons, if one day you are together again. Inside. Tell him the piano still waits. Tell him love never forgets. Leo wept. That night, they sat at the piano. Ethan played the opening notes of their mother's favorite nocturne, hesitant and imperfect. Leo joined him. The melody rose through the mansion, out into the garden, carrying everything they never said. Weeks passed. Joy returned. But one question haunted Ethan. Who took Leo, and why? He found the answer in old reports. A name, Teresa Var. A former nurse dismissed for suspected child trafficking. Ethan could have pursued vengeance. But as he watched Leo sketch in the garden, peace settled over him. Revenge won't heal us, he said. Redemption might. Within months, he created the Helena Foundation, named after their mother, to find missing children and restore broken families. Leo designed the logo. Two boys holding hands before a piano. At the inauguration, Ethan spoke. This story began with a promise. Today, we turn pain into purpose. Leo placed a hand on his shoulder. Love found us, even after the world tried to take it away. Later, alone in the hall, Ethan studied the portrait that had started it all. The child who was lost. And now, found. Beside it hung Leo's new painting. Two brothers at a piano, hands clasped. For the first time, Ethan felt peace. Leo joined him quietly. It feels, Leo said, like the universe was waiting for us to find our way back. Maybe love doesn't disappear, Ethan whispered. Maybe it just waits. Behind them, Grace stood silently, her heart full. Ethan pressed a key on the piano. The melody rose, gentle, forgiving, eternal. The mansion sang again. Sometimes life breaks us apart so love can teach us what truly matters, not wealth or power, but the courage to forgive, and to believe that love always finds its way home. If this story moved you, tell us in the comments which moment hit your heart the most. Share this with someone who needs hope today. And don't forget to subscribe. More stories of love, loss, and redemption are on the way, reminding you that even in silence, the heart never stops remembering.